Les Miserables. Last month, our local choral society put on a performance of the musical of Les Miserables, though I didn't go to see it. I did, however, watch the movie version of the musical again with Hugh Jackman, Russell Crowe, and Anne Hathaway. Whatever you might think about the musical and the movie or the individual performances within it, I was once again struck by the grandeur and profundity of Victor Hugo's story. I've read the book several times. I read it again 2 or 3 years ago. I'm proud to say that I read it in French. It's an astonishing undertaking, the writing, the book itself, that is, and I think reading it in French is not a bad effort either. I suspect that you could spend many hours discussing the various messages that the story contains. It's always been one of my favourite books. Here I just want to say a few brief words, mainly about the two central characters, Jean Valjean and Javert, the police officer who pursues him across the years. It would be easy to regard Jean Valjean as the hero of this piece and Javert as the villain. Certainly they're antagonists. Nevertheless, I don't believe it was ever Victor Hugo's intention to paint Javert as a villain. Jean Valjean certainly doesn't. Javert is a good man. He's a moral man. He's a man of duty. His behaviour is faultless in terms of the moral values that he clearly holds dear. The contrast that Hugo presents is not between an evil man and a good man, but between a good man and a holy man. Jean Valjean is a saint in all but name, despite being immoral according to the standards of the day. I think that Hugo is trying to point out that holiness or saintliness transcends morality. Morality is highly dependent on the context and culture of the day. What was considered immoral 150 or even 10 years ago is not necessarily considered so today, and vice versa. But holiness or sanctity is a timeless quality that transcends such human and social contexts. If there is an embodiment of evil in Les Miserables, it's to be found in the Thénardiers, the innkeepers who take Cosette in and mistreat her. Thénardier is the true villain of this piece. Unfortunately, this is obscured in the musical version of the story, which turns him and his wife into the comic relief. Interestingly, the other figure in the novel that to some extent embodies saintliness is the daughter of this evil figure, namely Éponine. Despite the extreme poverty into which the Thénardier family has fallen, despite the hardships that have ruined Éponine's health and appearance, she's not at all pretty in the novel, she exhibits saintliness when she brings Cosette and Marius together, despite her own love for him. And she exhibits saintliness when she sacrifices her own life to save Marius. Saintliness can and does arise from the filth of evil. That, at least, I believe, is one of Victor Hugo's messages in this book. Les Miserables is a wonderful exploration of evil, morality, and holiness. Holiness is not embodied in the people of perfect morality. On the other hand, the imperfectly moral person can be holy. But the perfect morality of someone like Javert is not considered evil by Hugo, just limited, narrow, and so terribly human. If we can force ourselves to consider the possibility of both positive and negative transcendence, then true evil is itself something that transcends morality, but in the opposite direction to holiness. And this is the Thénardiers.